Hello, dear students, all of my classes here. So, I've been getting a lot of texts and messages with many of you just kind of apologizing about having late work right now, and it's totally understood for me. I'm going to apologize that I have been behind on my work for the same reasons, to be honest. I'm distracted as well. And that's just honest. And I talked about that in some of the last videos, but now, of course, it's got a little bit more. It's become a little more complicated and real, I think, to us about whatever is going on. But I want to give you some information and try to keep it positive. In my conclusion about how we move forward from this, I want you to know that I did quit my other job at the consignment shop that I was working at. I did that because I'm still having some income that I can make from home. And going based on what the science is saying right now and the medical experts, if I can make more social distance happen, that's a responsible thing to do. So, but that also helps me help you all more now. Okay, so I think today I'm going to kind of take it easy, but I'm giving myself about 3 days, and then I'm going to kick back into gear. I think just been needing to kind of decompress. But before I go on and kind of really tell you more of some of the important things that I want to say, I just want to make clear about what we should expect or think about our online classes. On one hand, it's extremely difficult and distracting to be able to move forward. On the other hand, all of you who have online classes, and myself, a professor who has a job that I can work from home, we couldn't be more blessed to already be set up for having a situation during a time like this. Okay? And this gives you a chance to not halt your education and to move forward. Because once this gets dealt with, and it will get dealt with, you're going to feel way better if you were able to use these really difficult times in a productive way. And you could just move forward with your education in your life than if you just kind of in depression or in a funk, just let it all just go away, and treat life as meaningless. It's not meaningless. The one thing that I want to remind all of you, and I'll talk about this a little bit more, is think about all of the history we've studied and all the crazy things humans have went through, and our ancestors got us here. Every one of us that's listening, all of you who are listening to this and watching this YouTube, your ancestors got you here through whatever they went through. And so when you see the bubonic plague stories or the Spanish influenza or the massive amount of wars or the earthquakes and all this crazy stuff, we all made it here. So let's not forget, let's honor our ancestors by putting the kind of fight for our lives that they had, the drive to keep this for us all going, right? Like the next generation. And we can do that. So before I go talk a little bit more about that, in terms of the work, I'm not going to be making hard-pressed issues about late work right now. But I want to be careful about how I say this, so I want you to listen carefully. You don't need to write me and tell me that you're having some late work and apologize. I get it. I don't care what story you say. It doesn't matter. I get it. Okay? So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give zeros when I grade when there's a due date. The zeros will be there to help you see where your grade is at. And then when you can catch up, you just resend the assignment and I will give you full credit if you're doing it as I'm asking. So this is the other thing that's really important. I don't expect the work to be the quality it was before with some of you because of what's going on, but we've got to keep the standards in a way that is still academic and appropriate. All the papers have to have citations the way that I outlined for you, and they have to have dates. There's still many of you that are not doing this. I cannot stress enough. I tell you that I'm going to just give you zeros, but then it breaks my heart to do it. So I guess I'm still extra nice, but look, I'm not going to grade your papers without citations and dates, okay? And if you don't respond to fix it at a certain point, I do have to just put that zero and call it a like quits on that. But I'm giving you an opportunity to kind of fix that up and clean that up, okay? So right now, what I'm looking for, remember, in the papers, is that you're watching the videos and you're trying and you're doing the work and you're putting the effort in. And I can tell when I look at your work that that's happening or not. Okay. By the way, I'm drinking green tea, highly recommended beverage at this point. So, and then I just want to again clarify though, if you're starting to have a habit of getting too far behind, I'm only going to be able to help you catch up so much. I'm not sure what the standards are going to be for the school in terms of students and late work. This is new, uncharted territory. The classes it's not going to be long before we actually finish the semester. And so let's treat it like we need to get all the work done on time, okay? And if the school provides some sort of like alternative timelines due to the process, then we'll be thankful for that. So I'm giving you guys some slack, but I don't want you to slack off so much that you lose sight of the prize. Got to get this class finished and get it with a grade that you want right now. And you might be satisfied just with a C or a B. That's for you to decide. I'm not criticizing what you do, and if you want the A, okay, then you got to do the A work. So feel free to text and call me. I'll write messages, and I should be able to get back a hold of you more. Again, because I'm not working, but at the same time, I'm also responding to more people right now. Having said that, how do we focus on what we're reading during times like now? I'm going to tell you something personal about myself. I went through a very traumatic adolescence, and I guess we all have our stories that nobody knows or not everybody knows. And you get put through things, and it's very difficult sometimes when you have a family member that's mentally ill and gets incarcerated, and you're dealing with the repercussions of people who are close to you with behavior that is not desirable and complicates the way that you can develop as a younger person. All these things are a challenge. And then it takes you a while. You're sometimes a late bloomer in figuring out how to evolve and get to a better place, to be a better person. Believe it or not, history to me is therapy. And I see history as something that is a part of my spirituality. You'll notice there's a reason why I haven't had you focus on dates and memorization. Because I don't want you just to pass a test, to plug in some answers like it's an engineering equation and where you get a yes or no answer. I'm wanting you to understand looking at history as a way of trying to understand what it means to be a human being. What kind of constructs that human beings have developed and the situations that we put ourselves in. And as you notice, the story can be very depressing and grim. And I posted a video that Carl Sagan did on Pale Blue Dot, and I was almost not going to post it because I know that it's a little emotionally overwhelming. Some may even wonder if it's even positive in certain parts. But the reason why I posted that and the point that I want to get across is that therapy isn't effective unless it hurts a little bit. Unless you can break through some of the trauma and pain of dealing with life and look at it in the raw and put it on the table and know what you're really working with, right? Part of the criticism and the problems that people are having with our current president, without making this political, is there's contradictory messages coming out, and maybe one message is trying to calm everybody and the other one is sounding very alarmist. And I think that probably what most people want is just some solid truthfulness to kind of just grasp what's going on. That's certainly the kind of person that I am. I want to deal with what we're really working with. And history is a way of kind of seeing, that, oh man, maybe my family has had some dysfunctional stuff, but what did my family come when I talked about our ancestors did, got through all these things to get here. Some of your family members were refugees, if not now, a century ago. Some of our ancestors fled wars. Some of us were born to women that had a terrible situation happen to them where they didn't have a choice. There's a lot of these things. And we got here, and when you look at that, it's a way of, to me, not to focus on the negative, but to just realize the humanist, like the patterns of some of our mistakes, and to try to think how we can be better. Listen, most of us are going to survive this thing, whatever it is, but it's an emotionally overwhelming time, and there's still casualties that we should not make light of. If I hear any more talk about it's just the old and the compromised immune system people, I'm gonna scream. Listen, this is the problem of how we even got here. Oh, we thought, it's just in China. Who cares? It happened to China. Oh, it's in Italy. Okay, whatever. Iran. We don't care. Oh, it's just the old and sick. Well, guess what? A lot of people are getting problems that are not that old. And we can deal with this, but we have to collectively be in that mindset to work as a global community. Okay? And we can do it. We can do it because we've already went through this kind of thing before. Not this specific, but things like this. Oscar Wilde, one of my favorite writers, he said, all of us are in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. Let me say that again. All of us are in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. What I like about that saying, it's about acknowledging where you're at. When you're in a difficult time, when you're in something that's like you're struggling, that's real. But you can look down into the negative, the abyss of your negative situation, or you can look up and see that beauty, that grandeur that's out there, that is equally a part of our reality as we deal with the gutter, the situation that we're dealing with. And I think that kind of process helps give us strength to have real power and courage to get through really confusing and complicated times. I want to encourage all of you to create community if you don't have one. Muslims, Jews, Christians, Buddhists, and even some civic clubs have already developed communities, maybe even like bowling teams, but not all of you have had communities. Get on Facebook if you're not on there normally, or some other social media app, and find a way to check in. Whoops. It's a friend calling. See, that's good. It's community. She's calling to check up on me. And I know that's what, okay. So I want to see a lot of that from any of you. If you just need to talk, I will do my best to get back to you, okay? So as I said, we're going to get through this. And I want you to look, again, instead of being distracted, I want you to read this history like it's like studying history is reading a holy text. And you're getting a message from heaven. And you're reflecting upon what morality and what aspect of your life can be advanced as we get through this time. And then once this is all done, we're going to have a lot of parties. We're going to have a lot of celebration, and we're going to feel really good. And all my friends, we're going to get matching tattoos, like remembering the day, like, hey, that time we survived, that's how we're going to do it, okay? So, take care, and bless you all. And again, hit me up when you need anything. We'll be in touch.